Hey guys! Okay, so first of all, you are like the comment kings, queens, and royalty, gender neutral royalty of all YouTube. You comment so much and it is so good. And I just love it. However, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm just gonna validate you some more. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. I love it. It's my favorite thing about you. It's my favorite thing about my audience. I feel so lucky that you are the people who watch me because you comment, and I think it's cool. Because you trust that I read your comments, you trust that I value your comments, and thus you do comment, and it's just great. Thank you so much for commenting. I love it. I've read all the comments, and there's a lot of really solid points. I'm going to do another read because there's a lot of them, and they're really interesting. It's just about a really complex topic, so I'm going to do another read through, and maybe I'll summarize all the thoughts into one conclusion. But I'd like to say one thing. Something must have gotten lost in translation, because a lot of you answered a question that I wasn't asking. A lot of you were like, Ashley, being bisexual can mean being attracted to the same gender and other genders. And yeah, I totally already said that like 8 times. So, you just gotta listen to the question very carefully, because I didn't say the only way to be. Okay, there are many definitions of bisexuality. There are many definitions of bisexuality. There is not just one definition of bisexuality. And I feel like some of you were kind of like inching towards that conclusion, that there's one definition of bisexuality, and that definition is being attracted to the same gender as yourself and other genders. That is not the one definition of bisexuality. That is totally a definition of bisexuality. I would probably say it's like the most common definition of bisexuality. I think it's a great definition of bisexuality. That's what bisexuality means to me. That's my personal definition of bisexuality, as bisexuality is applicable to myself. But there's also another definition of bisexuality out there that is as follows: being attracted to 2 genders. Just 2 genders. It's kind of like how polysexuality is different than pansexuality, because in its most strictest traditional sense, being pansexual means being attracted to all genders. Now, that's not how all pansexual people feel, but from its origins, that is what, pan means all, and that's where it came from, and that's where it came from. We've adopted it to mean some other things now. But in its strictest sense, in its most traditional sense, pan means all. And poly means many, but not all. So if you were to say I'm polysexual, you could be attracted to maybe the only kind of people you weren't attracted to were men. But you're attracted to every other gender. So you're polysexual, not pansexual. So that's kind of like bisexual in this way, because blah 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 blah. This is so hard to explain articulately, but yeah. But there is a definition of bisexuality that some people claim is their personal definition for bisexuality as it applies to them. That's being attracted to 2 genders. And my question for you is, can somebody have that definition of bisexuality in a way where the 2 genders that they're attracted to aren't men and women? Can you think of another way? Because I was wondering if it was problematic to be attracted to, say, women and non-binary people. Because non-binary people isn't like one gender. There's many non-binary people, but a lot of you ignored that and simply said bisexuality doesn't just mean 2 genders. I know that, but for some people it does, and you can't erase that for them, because and you can't say that that's not a good definition of bisexuality, because everybody's allowed to define their label for themselves in any way they want. It doesn't mean that So anyway, so that is a definition of bisexuality that exists. Being attracted to two genders. And my question, just to clarify for yesterday, was, is it possible to be attracted to two genders that aren't the binary genders in a way that's not problematic or fetishized? Hard to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Fetishizing. Can't say it. Not gonna try. Anyway, now my question for you today is, because I'm on Twitter right now, like, causing a million people to freak out, is, can you, and Grace is even participating in the Twitter conversation. So first I want you to make a list in your head of all the lesbian YouTube couples that you can think of. You got them? You got that list of lesbian YouTube couples? Here, I'll give you a second. Rattle some off in your brain. Okay, now, can you think of a list of lesbian YouTube couples where neither partner presents traditionally femininely? So another way to ask that question would be, can you think of a lesbian YouTube couple where both people are androgynous, or both people are butch, or both people are not femme? Can you think of it? Can you think of one? And you can't say me and Grace. Because right now, me and Grace are the closest I can come up with, and the only people I can come up with. And that is nuts to me. And I've been sitting on Twitter, and nobody's been able to think of one. And they're all freaking out, because they're like, oh my gosh, I can't think of one. And I'm like, yeah, this is a realization I've had for a long time. Because, like, Denise and Ebony presents femininely. Cammy and Shannon are both femme. Stevie and Allie are both femme. Amanda and Amy's pretty femme. Some of you argue that Amy's not femme. I would say that Amy's super femme, but that's just me. But then again, we get into the discussion of, like, what is femme and how do you express gender and things like that. But, the reason that I'm asking this is because what I think is interesting is why? Why can't we think of one butch lesbian couple? I don't like that word. Why can't we think of one not feminine lesbian couple where both people present in a way that isn't traditionally feminine? Why? That has to say something about, like, our society. I just think it has to. What does it say? Why? Anyway, so that's, like, my big thing right now. I had a Red Bull, so I'm, like, really jazzed. So anyway, next time I ask a question, listen to it very carefully, because I was not asking for you to define bisexuality. I'm aware, I said it like 3 times in the video, I'm very aware that bisexuality can mean more than being attracted to two genders, but for some people it does just mean being attracted to two genders, and that's why they love it so much, because bi to them means two, and they, in their mind, have only two genders that they're attracted to. It's like how straight people are only attracted to one gender. Bi people are only attracted to two. Some bi people are only attracted to two. Other bi people define bi very differently. And by other bi people, I mean myself included, define it as being attracted to the same gender and other genders. So yeah. Because it's really great when you answer my question, but if you don't actually answer the question, it's not actually helpful. But thank you. And 2, can you think of a not feminine presenting lesbian couple? Because I'm interested. Meow.